So maybe we can launch an AI for good study group next
Yeah.
time. That's a good idea and inspiration. Awesome. Siddhant, you're up next.
Hi everyone. Uh, so yeah, first of all, I'll like to talk about my problem statement. So and meanwhile, also I'll bring up my screen. S- so I was typically for myself facing the issue where um, I at the end of the month I did not have a complete insight into my expenses. Why? Because they were spread across different um, channels, uh, credit cards, UPI, and then you do NEFT. All those were spread, and we have different statements spread across different uh, platforms. So if you have credit card bills, you have to go to different banks you are using the credit card and get the statements, and then you have to perform the analysis together. So this was the problem statement I started with, and when working on this, I identified a way that I I also wanted to keep it in a way that it makes interacting with internet, and it's mostly done at a locally, because it's a sensitive data. It's your expenses or your finance data, which you would not like to share with others. Is my screen visible with the presentation?
Yes, yes, it is. Thin
Okay,
lens.
so yeah. So basically, I'll just quickly walk through what I'm doing through this short presentation, and then I'll also do a demo. Though demo, I'm not sure it will complete within this time. I'll start the prompt. So what actually I'm doing is I have created a folder stack where I'm keeping all my expenses at one place. At this point, I have to download them from different places, but they are all at one place. After a month, I'll have to download it and keep specific statement at one place, and then run the Claude code on all the statements which are in very different format to derive the expense summary and draw insights if I'm exceeding on any particular category. So it not only extract, it also categorizes and subcategorizes these expenses and helps identify where I may be spending more or less. So I'll um, put this prompt here. I'll let this run while I'm presenting my use case. So here, for example, you have different six sources that you want to get your statements from, and you identified the number of expenses to be 2,000 plus, and those were categorized to just 17 categories. These categories were refined so that it suited me to view my expenses the way I wanted, and redefine or retune the expenses going forward, in which category I can reduce. So multiple bank accounts, there were blind spots in terms of you don't know where some transactions have a very ambiguous uh, sort of description. They don't tell you where it actually went, and later point in time you try and understand. If you are looking at a after some time, like 2 to 3 months, you don't understand where it might have gone. You forget it. So these kind of challenges were identified. Uh, and how you are doing is you are just dropping your files. You are asking the cloud to categorize those and then get the everything in your Excel, uh, where it is in the format, in the categorized format, and then it also tells you if you are following a particular framework, if it is meeting that or not. So For example, these are the number of transactions at different bank accounts, and these are the different volumes at a category level. Uh, Again, if I have to talk about what are the categories that I identified were these. Uh, and what I was talking about, that there were some expenses that that had ambiguity. So when Claude is running on your expenses, if there is any expenses which is above 5,000, which it cannot categorize anywhere, it will ask if you remember at that point in time, because it's just a recent month where you have made the transaction, and it will ask how would you like to categorize it. So, for example, there were some expenses. You paid some amount to Pankaj Dodlani. I may have made some purchase, so I would categorize it accordingly then and there. So, in human intervention only at the point where it is only necessary, but otherwise self-categorizing where it can do it itself. So moving on to the output, I would see, like, first of all, this is the draw transactions would come like, it will identify the description in the raw format, the amount, and then it will provide category and subcategory. Subcategory is something I may even further refine. But yes, it also then mentions debit and credit, which then it lets it to identify which account to plus or which account to minus. So summary wise, it provides me what is the total income that is coming. So this is a dummy data, and based on this dummy data, this it will tell you what is the total income, total expenses, and then what is the net cash flows you having, and what is the rate of saving. And if you are following some framework, so let's say 50-30-20 rule, if you are meeting this target based on the percentage of savings that you have made in terms of net cash flow, you may be on track. But if you are not on track, you can further go into your categories where you are making more expenses, and if there's an scope of reduction. For example, rent and housing you can't do anything, but shopping is something. If it is a good percentage of your expenses, you may want to somehow reduce it here. So this is something. It is still running. Meanwhile, I can still have more questions. So what I did was, it was up to date, up to June dummy data. I have run July dummy data. If I am able to complete it, I can show you how the more raw transactions have added to it. So currently we have till June. Yeah. So I'll stop sharing now, and would like to hear any questions. Or also, like, from here I want to also just touch upon one more thing. There will be more I see next steps to it. It will have further scope of automations, where I can directly fetch the statements from Gmail. It could have done it, it could have been done through APIs, but I have not yet, was not sure if I wanted to give access to my Gmail, um, it being personal data. But yeah, there's a scope of that, and currently it was done for a personal level. But looking at the Claude's capability now, it was so initially I was trying to standardize the data across the different format, but I later identified it was not even required. Claude was itself able to understand different data formats, and it was fetching the right information. So it can be very well scaled that way. Like, it's a everyone's use case, and happy to know from you, like, what else it could be, what else could be done on this, and how you are tracking your expenses, which could make it a better use case.
Quite phenomenal, Siddhant. Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
connecting the source in an easy way, I think is a common problem that if we solve it some way, all of these tools can provide amazing results.
Also, like
Do we know
yeah,
somebody from Cred Bala?
Ah, we
Because
do.
they
Yeah,
obviously, yeah, we had a session with some
yeah, yeah,
folks
yeah.
last.
Cred, we have enough connects. Do they have these APIs?
I mean, they are doing something, either
They're
APIs.
reading emails, if I remember correctly.
Correct,
No, no,
correct.
Cred has FinView as well. So they have integrations with FinView to get
Okay.
some account aggregator data, as
Acha.
well as they check messages, I think. Not
Yeah.
emails. They check for credit cards, but
No,
messages
they
they'll
okay.
be. And their Cred's current classification of expenses is really, really good. I tried
Really?
like some days back. If you go for monthly, they have a very nice visualization, very hard to replicate in AI. I don't know how they do it, but
Interesting.
it's phenomenally well done.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. We
so
can
wanted
talk to
to
somebody.
know.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I said we'll talk to somebody at Cred, see what they're actually up to.
So cred does look. I know cred can do it for credit card. Does it also have for your other transactions, UPI
Yes,
transactions?
it
Okay, so
it
you
did.
have.
I recently discovered they don't put a lot of marketing on this, but if you see, if you have like attached everything, if you go to your incomes, there is some part where you see income. Credit is a terrible app to discover things, but
Mhm.
if you're able to find and discover that, then you will find these things also.
So
Yeah.
there's another bank that I use, AU Bank, which lets you put all your sources, like whatever banks you have accounted, whatever credit cards you have it, and it will tell you what kind of expenses you are doing and what are kind of income you are making. And it was a good thing. I also wanted to understand like whether I can do at a personal level, but I understood that they have some kind of license to get the individual level data. I don't remember completely because it's been some time now when I was researching on this. But yes, they. I don't think it's at a personal level for your agent. You can get this kind of access. Um, Also, secondly, what wanted to talk about was um, yeah, like when I was doing it AU Bank, could have done it, but when I was sharing all my expenses, I was also not very confident whether I should share it or not. um, so yeah, they obviously do it for marketing, selling loans and selling your credit cards. Obviously
Yeah.
they'll use it for that.
So here is how I do it at a personal level. So I have I just download all the documents at the end of the month into email, and for my UPI transaction, I just take a screenshot of the app, the transaction history. I put it there, and I have a Claude skill which kind of analyzes and dumps it into my Excel sheet. Right. So, and obviously it makes a lot of mistakes. For example, it doesn't recognize the name of the petrol pump where I usually put petrol, and it's a large expense. So I just give inputs on, hey, this is what it is, and over a period of time, it kind of like learns and updates the skill. So that's the I'm following.
Bala, just a quick question. Do you do all your UPI expenses through one app?
No, I have a couple of apps. So I take screenshots of both the apps and I just dump it there.
Got it. Because I work in this space and we work with account aggregator framework partners and they have their own analytics layer. And then we also leverage our in-house data science team to further do the classification, which is what the point what Jyoti was mentioning and how CRED kind of builds, which is amazing on top of what account aggregator framework allows you to do. So that is where the power comes into the play with the AA framework in place.
Very nice. No, it makes sense. The only problem I also have is I'm very sensitive to my data being shared.
Yeah,
So I try
yeah,
to keep it
that's
as local as
definitely
possible.
a challenge.
Yeah. Hey,
Awesome.
Priyesh had a question.
Priyesh, you had raised your hand. Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I was just putting it in chat anyway. I was just saying what Bala said, similar, but instead of if you want to do away with the manual downloading of statements and all, what I have done is in my Gmail, primary Gmail, I've just set up an auto forward to a standalone secondary Gmail, and like
Yeah.
that secondary Gmail which just has bills, nothing else. Again, I mean, it depends on your comfort level of how much you want to share, but if your use case is to upload the bills anyway, then you can just automate it that way. Works well.
Yeah, I think that's
Awesome.
a good point. So I recently deployed a Hermes agent and I've set up an email for the agent itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forward all these bills to the agent and ask it to do this on a ad hoc basis. But I think that's the way to go.
Even better.
And whatever you do, don't give it access to the PGP.
Yeah.
Hello, what was the agent that you said? If you can just put it in chat, please.
Hermes. This is Hermes.
Got it, got it.
It's like OpenClaw. Yeah.
Hermes is also beneficial because it can access a lot of websites which otherwise get blocked by LLMs
Yeah.
because it's a local agent that is accessing. Awesome.